All right, Shalom Amakim. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakakadash, and double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and citations to all the Akim out there pushing the word of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakakadash, and truth and sincerity. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakakadash, Brakatham to you all. All right, so what I'll be entitling this lesson is Joel 2 and 2 and 30. Nuclear war simulator. Okay, and as you see on the screen, this article from SputnikNews.com entitled Blood and Fire and Pillar of Smoke. New program will allow you to plan nuclear war video. Okay, and I read this article, and I saw that there was this engineer from Germany who came up with this nuclear war simulation. All right, in which the people who use the simulation or have access to it can simulate a nuclear war and see the effects and damages that it'll have on populations of people, cities, and countries. Okay, and it's interesting that this article is entitled "Blood and Fire and Pillar of Smoke" because that's a quote from Scripture. Okay, that's a quote from Joel 2 and 30, which is why I put that in the title. Okay, and that's what lets you know, man, that look, man, people know that we're at the end. The higher ups know that we're at the end. Okay, people have heard this word. Okay, the prophecies have been spoken. The prophets have been raised up in the latter days. Okay, brothers are out there on highways and byways, specifically Great Millstone, to be exact, and others that teach, the same doctrine, but specifically Great Millstone is the camp that's known for going into the nuclear destruction and World War III that's coming. Okay, and pushing that heavy. Okay, and so the word has gone out on YouTube, on Daily Motion, on different platforms, and people have heard it. Okay, people have heard the destruction is coming. All right, the war is coming. The last war and final war is going to be nuclear war. Okay, and the spirit of the earth, the spirit of the Lord is in the earth, man, moving people to do things like that, to write articles like this, to show that prophecy is coming to pass, man. Brothers have been talking about how the Lord's coming back in his chariots and how the nations are going to fight against the Lord when he comes back. And here you have it. These nations have space forces. Okay, signs in the heaven, and here you have it. Chariot sightings, so-called UFO sightings. Okay, all right. Brothers have been saying famine and cannibalism is coming, and the articles come out on that. So yeah, man, we at the end, man. The Lord is with us, man, and the Lord has put the spirit of prophecy in our mouths, which means to say before. Okay, to prophesy means to say before. And it's happening, man. Okay, so yeah, man, let's just keep holding on and keep pushing. But yeah, with that, I'm just gonna read this article and go into some scriptures, man, going into the nuclear destruction. All right, and Lord willing, this video is edifying. So as you see on the screen, Blood and Fire and Pillar of Smoke, a new program will allow you to plan nuclear war video. Okay, right. It says the deadliest weapon that humankind ever created has made almost everyone feel a little bit paranoid. Is there a chance of surviving if shots are actually fired? Well, it won't be a wild guess anymore, just facts about possible scenarios for a nuclear holocaust. Okay. A new program created by a German engineer will allow people to plan nuclear strikes around the world and watch the consequences of the nuclear fallout, Motherboard reported. Ivan Stepanov, developer of the nuclear war simulator, stated that the program is meant to raise awareness of the dangers that nuclear weapons present in our society, noting that the program, which began as a video game, would be available in 2020. Okay, and 2020 is going to be one hell of a year, man. Lord willing, that's the year, man. It's gonna get live, man. It's gonna get live. Okay, all right. So it says it is a realistic interactive simulation of the visualization for nuclear conflicts with a focus on humanitarian impact. It is technically not a game, as there is no goal or reward for nuking everybody. Instead, it is an interactive educational sandbox where you have the freedom to set up and replay any conflict scenario you want, he explained. Okay. All right, so basically the simulation was created to raise awareness of the damages and the consequences of, a nuclear war. Okay, All right, so they know what time it is, man. Okay, everybody knows what time. Everybody knows that World War III is on the horizon. Okay, nuclear war. That ain't something that people think is far fetched, you know. All right, because the prophets have been saying it, bringing it out the scriptures, man. That's why when you could go on Google, you could type in Armageddon. Okay, you could type in the apocalypse. Okay, all right, and go to images, man. I guarantee you're gonna find images of a mushroom cloud. Okay, I guarantee that. All right. Okay. The simulator will show an interactive 3D model of the Earth where you can plan a nuclear strike, select the launch point and the target, customize the strength of the blast, and see the number of instant casualties from the explosion. Instant casualties. All right. Which the scriptures tell you the slain of the Lord shall be many. Okay. The Lord's going to make a speedy riddance of all them that dwell upon the earth, man. Okay. All right. And later victims who will die from radioactive contamination. It will also show massive clouds of smoke filling the atmosphere after the warheads explode, man. This is no coincidence, man. All right, the scriptures, the scriptures come into life, man. The scriptures come into life, man. Okay, so I'm gonna read Joel. Okay, I'm gonna read it out of my sword. This is Joel chapter 2, verse 30. Right, it says, "I will shew wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. The sun shall be darkened, or shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood before the great and terrible day of the Lord come. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be delivered. For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance, as the Lord hath said, and in the remnant whom the Lord shall call." Okay, so the scriptures let me know plainly the things that will take place on earth before the Lord's return. Okay, blood. Okay, which means there's going to be great death and bloodshed on earth, and fire and pillar of smoke. Okay, wonders in heaven and in the earth. All right, so not only just blood moons and, you know, solar eclipses, which that's part of it too. Okay, but war, fire, okay, smoke. All right, and you can liken that to volcanic eruptions, wildfires, which that's taking place all over the earth. Okay, all right. You know, different catastrophes and calamities, right? But you can also liken this unto the nuclear destruction that's coming. Okay, and these higher ups know, man. They know the Bible prophecies, man. These elites, and I'm telling you, these elites and these, you know, these think tanks around the globe, they know the significance of Bible prophecy, man. Okay, or else this article would not have been titled this way, man. Okay, they could have used anything else, man, but they used the Bible, man. Okay, showing you what the words of the Lord do not come back void, man. They accomplish that which He pleased, man. Okay, and it says these things are going to take place before the day of the Lord comes, and only those that believe in the name of the Lord and are part of the remnant, okay, because the remnant's going to believe anyway, are going to be delivered from that great destruction and from those said perils. Okay, all right. So I want to go to the book of Jeremiah, okay, 25, and I'm going to read a couple precepts from there, and I'm going to play the video, because there's a video on this, you know, article, or on this site. Okay, and then you'll see why I read this precept, okay, from Jeremiah. So this is Jeremiah 25, right, and verse 32. It says, "Thus saith the Lord of hosts," okay, which the Lord of hosts is a title for the Heavenly Father. Okay, the Lord of Sabaoth, or the Lord of armies. Okay, which that lets you know that the Lord is a man of war. Okay. All right. It says, "Behold, evil shall go forth from nation to nation, and a great whirlwind shall be raised up from the coast of the earth." All right. This is talking about the nuclear missiles. Okay. They're going to be shot off from one place on the earth to another place on the earth. Right. "And the slain of the Lord shall be at that day from one end of the earth." Okay. As I said, even unto the other end of the earth. "They shall not be lamented, neither gathered nor buried. They shall be as dung upon the ground." Okay, so when those nuclear missiles are shot off from one place on the earth to another place on the earth, people are going to start dying instantly. Once they hit their targets, people are going to die instantly all over the globe. Okay, people are going to drop dead. Okay, as a result of the catastrophe and the calamity caused by those missiles, man. Okay, all right, "And the slain of the Lord shall be at that day from one end of the earth to the other," man. So dead bodies, man. Bodies going to hit the floor all over the globe, all over the planet. Okay, millions upon millions, if not billions of people are going to die. Okay, all right. So I'm going to show you why I brought out that precept, because when you watch this simulation, okay, you'll see, all right, you'll see them shoot the missiles, and you'll see how they travel from one place on the earth to the other. That was one that you saw just now. Okay, you see how those lines, those lines supposed to represent missiles. Okay, all right, with warheads attached to them, hitting their target. You see how that works. See how they move from one end of the earth to the other, man. Intercontinental ballistic missile fire, man. Look at this, man. You see what I'm saying? All right, that's why I brought out that preset, man. Okay, all right. A great whirlwind shall be raised up from the coast of the earth. Evil shall go forth from nation to nation, man. Okay, that's that evil, that those missiles, man. The destruction that's coming from those missiles, they're gonna come from one nation to another nation, from one end of the earth to the other end of the earth, man. Okay, now let's go to Isaiah. All right, Isaiah 65. All right, you know, Isaiah 65, or no, not Isaiah 65, Isaiah 66 and 15, right? It says, for behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebukes with flames of fire. Okay, so when the Lord comes back, it's going to be a day of fire. The first destruction came by the flood, by water. Okay, but the heavens and the earth, which are now, are preserved unto fire. Okay, all right, for the destruction and perdition of ungodly men. So when Yahushua comes back, all right, at the request of his Father to judge the earth, he's coming with that day is going to be accompanied with fire. Okay, not just the fire from the missiles, but the fire from the chariots. Okay, all right. Okay, so it says in verse 16, right? It says, for by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. Okay, so all flesh shall be pled with, okay, judged, which when you go to the word plead, it means to judge by fire. Okay, all flesh, okay, which means what? Judgment day is going to take place on earth. It's not going to be some, extra dimensional, freaking, limbo or something where people go and burn forever. No, man, it's going to take place on earth, because it says plead with all flesh. Okay, plead with all flesh. Flesh lives on earth. Okay, all right. So the Lord's going to plead with all flesh upon the earth by fire, and by his sword. They that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens behind one tree in the midst. Okay, on earth, trees grow on earth. Okay, all right, gardens grow on earth. Eating swine's flesh, pig, pork, they live on earth. And the abomination and the mouse, those live on earth too, shall be consumed together, saith the Lord. Okay, all right. So if you eat pork, shrimp, crab, lobster, you worshiping idols, you celebrating Christmas. Okay, all right, you're gonna die of this fire. Okay, that's coming, this nuclear fire, man. Okay, and what is the Lord's sword? The Lord's sword is those nuclear missiles, man. Isaiah 34. Okay, all right, that's what it means when the Lord shall by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh. Okay, meaning the fire from the chariots and the fire from the missiles, man. The sword of the Lord is those missiles, man. Okay, and he's gonna use those missiles along with the chariots to judge the people of the earth, man. These nations, man. All right, particularly the Edomites, but you other nations as well are gonna get it too. Okay, let's go to Isaiah 34. Okay, let's read about the Lord's sword. I'm gonna start at verse 1. Okay, it says, come near ye nations to hear, so the nations, and hearken ye people, let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world and all things that come forth of it. So this is the judgment of the whole world pronounced by the Heavenly Father through the mouth of his holy prophets. For the indignation, the righteous anger of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury is upon all their armies. Okay, so the indignation, the righteous anger of the Lord, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, is upon all nations, and his fury, okay, not his joy, not his pleasure, okay, his fury is upon all their armies. So the militaries of the earth are going to be judged in the Lord's fury, okay. He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter, okay. So it's going to be a big bloodbath in the day of the Lord. Their slain shall be cast out. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses. Okay, so it's going to be a lot of death. Okay, a lot of dead bodies. Okay, rotting everywhere, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. So it's going to smell like death. Okay, All right, it's going to be so much death and bloodshed that the nations are going to be weakened. Okay, all right, which those are the mountains, the nations. Okay, and all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heaven shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. Okay, so that's how you know that the sword of the Lord is those missiles, man. Okay, because it says what? All the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heaven shall be rolled together as a scroll. All right, and it tells you in verse 5 the reason why, because of the Lord's sword. Okay, so the Lord has a sword, a weapon that it has the power to cause the heavens to roll together as a scroll, man. Okay, as you see on the screen, you see this mushroom cloud. When a nuclear missile or an atomic bomb goes off, okay, all right, the debris goes up into the atmosphere and it rolls together as a scroll, man, and it causes the air to collapse and to coalesce together, all right, in the shape of a scroll being rolled together. Okay, and the Lord said that when that happens, the host of heaven shall be dissolved. Okay, all right, that means Esau is going down out of his rulership, and whatever military fighter jets or whoever technology is up there, and that day drones and aircraft, that's going to be knocked right out the sky. Okay, all right. Anyway, it says that it's the judgment upon Idumea. So the Lord's bringing this judgment upon the Edomites. Okay, the sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and of goats, and with the fat of the kidneys of rams, which represents the military, your generals, your armies. Okay, for the Lord hath a sacrifice in Bozrah and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. Okay, so the military men of the earth are going to get judged, okay, specifically of the Idumeans. All right, and it says Bozrah representing the capital of Edomite rulership in these latter days, okay, which is America. Okay, all right, a great slaughter. America is going to be totally destroyed by these missiles, man. Okay, by the missiles and by the chariots. Okay, why? Because the Lord hath a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. So let's go to Revelation chapter 6. I want to go to Revelation chapter 6. Well, yeah, Revelation 6, and I'll go to 2nd Ezra as well. Revelation 6 and 12, right? It says, and I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and there was a great, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood, right? And it tells you why. And the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. Right, so this is talking about, again, the nuclear destruction. This is a reference, okay, or another way of saying the prophecy that was written in Isaiah the 34th chapter. Okay, all right, that great earthquake's going to come as a result of the destruction by the missiles. Okay, and the fallout, the debris, is going to cause the atmosphere to be discolored. Okay, all right, so that the sun appears to be dark, okay, black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon, all right, shall become to look as blood. Okay, and the stars of heaven fell to the earth, which that represents the missiles. All right, because when you see as you saw in the simulation earlier, all right, it looked like shooting stars, flying across the atmosphere of the earth and landing and hitting different targets. Okay, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. All right, and when fig trees fall, or when figs cast their figs, all right, or when fig trees cast their figs, when shaken of a mighty wind, they fall in a curvature pattern. Okay, and that's what you saw also in that simulation as well. Okay, and the heavens departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. Okay, so these nations, when these missiles start doing their damage, okay, all right, these nations are gonna be moved, man. There's gonna be great terror upon the earth. All right, and the earthquake's gonna be so powerful, man. When the day of the Lord coming, man, when the Lord coming with the chariots and the missiles start shooting and blowing up everything, okay, it's gonna cause such an earthquake in the earth, man. All right, you're gonna have great tsunamis. You're gonna have islands move out of their places. All right, you're gonna have shaking of the mountains and of the continents and of the land, man. Okay. All right, and of course the heaven departed together as a scroll when it was rolled together. That's talking about the mushroom cloud. Now verse 15, it says, and the kings of the earth and the great men and the rich men and the chief captains and the mighty men and every bondman and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and to the rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? Okay, now that's talking about them bunkers that these elites have. Okay, these rich men, these mighty men of the earth, these kings of the earth, these rulers of the earth have to deliver themselves, all right, or try to deliver themselves from the destruction that's coming via the missiles. Okay, and there's been articles done on that, videos done on that. Okay, all right, how the 1% have bunkers prepared for Armageddon, for nuclear Armageddon. Okay, all right, and they know, all right, because verse 17 says, for the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? So they know, all right, this World War III that's coming, all right, is going to coincide with the return of Yahushai. Okay, and it's gonna be the way that Yahushai is going, and the Heavenly Father are going to execute their wrath upon the earth, man. So they know what time it is, man. They know the Lord's coming back. Okay, they know what time it is. You know, it's these average people that want to doubt, man. Okay, they're the ones that want to doubt, man. All right, but you ask them why the elites are building bunkers to prepare for Armageddon, and why you average peons aren't invited, and all you hear is freaking crickets. Okay, but the Bible's a fairy tale, though. All right, but anyway, Second Ezra chapter 16 verse 7, it says, may one turn again the arrow that is shot of a mighty archer. The Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? A fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? So the arrow is talking about the missiles. Okay, all right, and it says the arrows are a plague, and they are accompanied with fire that is unquenchable. Okay, so this is talking about nuclear missiles. He shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid? All right, and that's talking about the blast from the chariots. Okay, being likened unto lightning. Okay, the Lord shall threaten, who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence, because the Lord's going to vaporize billions of people, millions and billions of people going to die, right? The earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof. The sea arises up with the waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also before the Lord, and before the glory of his power. All right, so the earth is going to shake, and the foundations thereof, and the sea is going to be moved, and arises up with the waves. There's going to be great tidal waves, all right, and tsunamis. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. The arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. Okay, so that's not talking about a regular arrow, okay, like some damn Robin Hood. No, it's just talking about nuclear missiles, man. Intercontinental ballistic missiles that's going to be shot from one end of the earth, one end of the world, to the other end of the world. That's why they call a missing or a hijacked missile, okay, a broken arrow. Okay, now I'm going to close out with Isaiah chapter 9 and 5, and that'll be it. Okay, Isaiah 9 and verse 5. Isaiah 9 and 5. Okay, it says, for every battle of the warriors with confused noise, and with garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. For unto us a child is born, and unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Okay, of the increase of his government and peace there shall be no end, upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom, to order it and to establish it with justice and judgment, or with judgment and with justice, from henceforth even forever. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will perform this. The Lord sent a word unto Jacob, or into Jacob, and it lighted upon Israel. All right, so this is letting you know that there's going to be a war, all right, that's going to be fought in the latter days. That's not going to be fought as a conventional war is fought. This war is going to be fought by fire, by burning. Okay, and this war is going to precede the return, okay, or it's going to coincide with the return of the Messiah, okay, who's gonna establish the kingdom of heaven and sit upon the throne of David, all right, for the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, and it's going to be everlasting peace and justice and judgment upon the earth. Okay, and it's going to be the kingdom of heaven, all right, established by Yahushai underneath the authority of Yahweh the Father. Okay, King David under him. All right, and you're gonna have the other 12 apostles, okay, and then the rest of the elect, the 144,000, that remnant and Israelites ruling over the globe. Okay, it's gonna be peace on earth from that point forward. So with that, Lord willing, this video was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to all the Akim out there pushing the word of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash, in truth and sincerity. Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Brakatham to you all, and with that I want to say Shalom.